to another episode of Beyond the Norm. And today we have our special guest, Miss Courtney, with us. And
Hey,
and we're going to be here breaking barriers, diving into bold modern takes, and sparking conversations that matter from real life challenges to inspiring stories. I'm here to build a fearless community of open minded thinkers, all while rocking motherhood. So let's level up, y'all. Okay, Courtney. So today
get
we're gonna
it.
be talking about how us as single moms and how we navigate this dating world and just like all the things people have to say about it. So we're gonna start out with a question. And the first thing I'm
Okay.
gonna ask you is what do you think about the topic single moms and dating? Like, have you looked up or have you seen any videos or heard any commentary on it when it comes to single moms and datings?
Well, from what I hear a lot, it's a lot of negativity to it, right? Like everyone seems to bash single mothers when it comes to dating. They tell us that we shouldn't be dating or we should be worried about our children and we have other priorities and blah, 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 right? But
Hmm.
it's like, okay, just because we had a child doesn't mean we can't live and, date and still enjoy our time. So we still taking care of our kids.
Right, I agree. There is like, so I was watching this video on YouTube of this guy. I forgot to get his name. I didn't write his name down, but he made like a 9 minute video about how, single, not wrote, but did a 9 minute video about how single moms are just for having sex and that, they're just not like, we're not top tier, like we can't go after top tier
That
men
too.
and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking to myself,
Yeah,
like,
we're not valuable no more.
yes. So it's like on one hand, for me, like I feel super offended, but then it's just like when you hear like some of the more literate, correct people talk on it, I feel like they have a point but don't have a point because
Mhm.
they'll say things like, oh, she made bad decisions. When you're looking at a single mom, you have to look at her bad decisions of picking a father who wasn't going to be there, or he displayed signs that he just wasn't a good man and you just left him. So now you guys are creating broken homes. And just, what do you think about that?
Okay, I'm gonna speak from my own experience. Okay, so in my experience, like with the whole, I got pregnant and knew that he was a bad man. First of all, like in my case, things were going smoothly, right? He told me, I'm gonna be there for you during the pregnancy. I'm gonna help raise my child. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be a great father. So of course, when you're pregnant, you're gonna be like, okay, cool. He he gonna be there for me. No, the woman I reached 2 months, all types of names, calling me ugly, telling me I wasn't worth it no more, and all these things. And it's like, damn, like now that I'm pregnant, you don't said you would do all this stuff, and now you're not there. So things do change after the fact, and I think people they tend to not look at that. They don't look at that when a woman does become pregnant. The man's actions change, and they no longer find you valuable anymore, even though they're the ones who got us pregnant.
Yeah,
So
I agree because I
I
feel
think
like
it's
a lot of
stupid,
the
and it's not
negativity
fair
when
to
it
us.
comes. Right, right, right. And I agree. And I feel like a lot of the negativity that comes from dating as a single mom is mostly from the men's side. And it just like, the same thing happened in my experience too.
The thing
I
is, take your accountability too.
right, because not all y'all out here being good and faithful and supporting us the way we need to be supported all the time. We have hormones that go from here to there, and then over there, and then over here, and then back over here. So I feel like
Hmm.
people aren't in, a lot of men aren't in tune. They don't be in tune with us when it comes to that stuff. Okay, so what has your experience
Yeah.
been? Have you had good experience or bad experience as dating as a single mom?
I've had both.
I was like, I
I
don't know
would
what that
say
sign
honestly that
was.
I've dealt with a lot of men who actually do want to step in. Listen, because I got both. I got good and bad, okay? But and people will question, oh, if it was good, why y'all still not dating? Why y'all still not talking? Because it was good, and then they show some bullshit, and then now we not talking more. But of course, in the beginning, everything is good. They're trying to do things for my son and blah 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 and all these things. And they talk about paying my bills. I even have men pay my bills and stuff because they want to just help me a little bit more because they know I'm a single mom. Hey, I'm here from dating you. I'm rocking with you and your child. Y'all come as a package deal. But as far as like the bad experiences, they tend to be a
Oh,
little bit more
stop.
negative.
Oh, stop.
No, like for real, like they tend to be a little bit negative, and I feel like they look at me as a sex object. Like, oh, you got a nice body, you got a nice ass. Like, I just want to fuck you, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, but more than that. Like, I'm educated. I got a career. I got all these different things going on. I actually know how to treat a man. I know how to speak to a man. And you over here looking at me like I'm just a pawn, like I don't mean shit to you. Um, but I do feel like the men don't value single mothers. Like they don't see what single mothers can actually like bring to the table. For example, one of them would be because we do have kids, we know how to nurture better. Like we're
Exactly.
natural nurturers, and we
Nurturers.
gonna nurture our man too. Like we gonna cater to our man, we gonna do things for our man, and it's just like you not want that, So
No, they just want some sex. Like, but you know what? I think it's also too
yeah.
because
So it's like I don't really. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't enjoy.
you said what?
Okay. No, I was gonna say, I'm gonna be honest here that I don't enjoy dating as a single mom because it's just like,
Me
I
neither.
feel like it's a lot of peer pressure too. Like I get, so for me, I have this line, right? We have to be dating for 3 to 6 months before you even meet my child, and that has to be on a consistent basis. If you're being inconsistent, now that 3 months don't push back to 4 and 5, 6 because you know what I'm saying? And
No,
it's
but
like I'm
I
not gonna
agree. I feel
introduce my
like there
child
should be a
into
time
something.
limit before you introduce somebody to your kid. You don't just introduce everybody to your kid off bat.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
right. So yeah, yeah. So it's like they try to force me into meeting my child sooner so that they can spend time with me, right? Like, hey, I want to see you. You don't got money for a babysitter, or because it's a lot. They be charging $100 per day for babysitting. It's like, and you want to see me multiple times a week. That's a lot of money to contribute to a babysitter to come. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
um, they don't offer to do that, which they're not obligated to, but it's just a thing. Just understand, like, hey, you know what? I don't got the money right now. I could have the money. We could hang out next week. And they don't understand that. So then they get upset with me, telling me I don't want to spend time with them. I'm playing games. I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, it's not that, but that shit's expensive?
Mhm.
So, and then, so it's like the fact that they want to start belittling me and telling me that I must not really like them because of the babysitting situation. But it's like, I'm making time for you, making time I do have available for you. And you got to understand that sometimes I'm busy. Like after school, he still got activities, he got homework, he do jujitsu, or he's going to start jujitsu and all these other extracurricular activities that he's going to be into. I got to give time to all that as well. I got to help him with his homework. He got to study. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they don't understand from that standpoint of it. And I was like, well, I'm trying to show you, and you still now you getting mad because you want to meet my son next week. We just met. Like you're not coming around
No,
my son. As
for
far as
real.
I know, no. Listen, as far as I know, you fucking you could be crazy. You could have mental problems. You could
Murderer.
be a killer or anything. You could be a molester. I don't know. So I need to learn everything about you. Like I need to learn your how do you discipline? Because some niggas will straight up tell me I'll sock that little nigga. And we cut off and I'm not talking to you no more because you're not
Right,
back to come.
because who's kid?
And so I'm like, okay, but you want me to allow you to meet my child this early? No, I need you to show me consistency and show that you're serious and that you see something, worthwhile with this relationship. If not, you're not gonna meet my child. You know what I'm saying? So
So,
that's what
so
it is.
one of
Let him be my.
challenging, so the challenging part is having time and introducing your kid and maneuvering that stuff. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna do a little bit of pushback on you. So two things. One, would you say that's why men think that single moms aren't high value because they would like you said, they're not obligated to. But if I want to see you twice a week and you only have babysitter money for once a week, it's like now I feel as a man that who has no kids has to start now paying for your time, you know? And then a second thing
Hmm.
I would say is and what was the second thing? I hate when I do that. But the second thing is just forget the second thing because I didn't forgot it. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. It was good too, but just basically that
Get to it, girl.
girl. But just that's why they'll say things like that then it's not worth the time it's not worth the time that they have to pay. Oh, that's the second thing, sorry. So this and the second thing is that I would also argue on your side that I feel that I would prefer to date men with can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I will argue on your side that I would prefer to date men with kids than without kids because I feel like people that don't have kids are innately selfish, not by purpose, just I feel the majority of them, not all of them, just the majority of them are selfish just because when it comes to things like that, how you have to be like, oh, well, I don't have babysitter money for twice a week. I have babysitter money for once a week. And it's like, well, you know what I mean? No, won't you be considerate of my time and understand that I have a child when I'm a single mom and this is my schedule, this is my lifestyle, and I can only make time for you once a week right now. You're not my husband. And there's a timeline when it comes to even getting to know you and you getting to meet my kid. I gotta know who you are as a person, but I feel like people without kids or people who don't have their kids don't understand that dynamic.
Right. And I also feel like it's also an investment into the man. Like if you really think about it, just think
Mm,
about it. In order for me to see you, I gotta invest a couple $100s a week to spend my time with
mm.
you. And you
So
want to
it's
sit
both
around your house and
ways.
not do nothing? Right. But you want to say, I'm not gonna invest into I'm investing in you. It may not be the money's not going to you, but I have to give money for my child to go be with a sitter so that I can go spend time with you. And a lot of times they don't be trying to do shit. So you
Now,
want me to spend with this sitter $100 just to come chill with you? And I don't mind because I'm a homebody. I love doing stuff at the house or, just chilling, going to the parks, free shit.
yeah.
But if I'm paying money every time to come and see you, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna start expecting you need to be taking me on dates. You need to be taking me, make my time worthwhile. Because now I'm investing into spending time with you, actual money. Yeah, so I don't think they look at it that way either. So I mean, it's tough. It's a tough situation. Um,
It is. And I think it plays on both sides. Just both sides being understanding, I would say, because I agree with you. You know what? They ain't the only ones investing. We is invested too. So I agree
right.
with you.
We're investing time and our money,
And time away
literally.
from the kid.
And then not just that, but okay, but now that we start getting serious, and now that you have like okay, so before you even meet my child, we both invest in time, energy, money, all that, right? But
Right.
then you got to think about like they just have to get past that 3 month, 6 month mark, right?
Yeah.
If you can tough it out through that 6 month mark or 3 to 6 months,
You gonna be in here more than once a week.
now you ain't got to worry about me only seeing you twice a week or 3 times a week. Now we can see each other every day because now I trust you enough to be around my child and everything. So they be trying to rush that shit. Like, nah, I
Yes.
want to see you. I wanted this, I
Yes.
wanted that. And I'm just like, first of all, I don't expect any man to pay for shit for me.
Exactly.
As far as babysitting, because for one, it's not your child. You didn't make this child. And two, if I'm choosing to date, I do need to make, I need to have the money to pay for a sitter if I want to, put myself out in the dating world. But it's
I
also
agree
because, like I
with you.
said,
And a lot
when
of
I
women,
came across those men,
I agree with you. A lot of women don't think like that, just so you know. So we're not majority.
yeah. So it's like, um, the thing is like, so whenever I gotta pay for all this stuff, and then just once we get past that, we gonna be straight. So, but they don't be trying to. They don't even want to make it to meet my child, and it's just like, okay, at this point, I'm trying to work with you, brother. And you just giving me some push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. Like, I don't got time. Honestly, I only date men with one kid.
Yeah.
Two or more, it's a done deal for me, because I only have one child. You got to think about it. If I got one kid, you got one kid, that's two.
Yes,
I got one
too.
kid, you got three kids, nigga. That's four kids already that we got to be trying to take care of financially and do stuff. You got to think about it. If I'm dating you, eventually I'm going to be doing motherly duties to your children as well, and that's a lot of. Honestly, I don't have the mental capacity, and I can admit that, to be dealing with multiple kids that ain't mine. So I understand when men don't want to date women who have kids or multiple, they'll do one or none. Same thing with me. I only do men with one kid or no kids, and that's
You
that. Like
okay,
it
Courtney? You know, okay, so I just have my second baby. He's only one. But even when I had just my one baby, she's 7, and even when I just had her, I didn't. I would do two, and no more than two. I could handle two because if I have one and you have two, then that's three. I could do 3 kids. That's cool with that. But I couldn't. You can't
that's
have.
too
You
fucking much.
can't have. You couldn't have more than. You couldn't have more than two. So I went up to two, and I got two, so you can't have more than two. Not like you said, that's 4 kids. So that's already a lot. So I'm not passing the 2 mark. So I feel you.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So I mean, some of them be getting mad, but I don't care. They'll be like, the thing is, why would you not tell me in the beginning? Like, if you ask me how many kids I got, and I tell you that I got one, okay, we continue talking. Now it's a week and two in, and then you tell me you got 4 kids. What? So now I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, like I really enjoyed my time with you, but I'm gonna have to, cut my ties with you. They'd be like, "Are you serious?" I'd be like,
yes, I'm
"Listen."
serious. I don't.
And
I
not
asked
just that, but a
no.
lot of them, they be trying to talk about us, but they be having multiple. Oh, okay,
And then
this man I
sometimes
dated,
they'll have four
he had
kids.
3 baby mamas, and then you want me to be your fourth one or be with you? The possibility that I may get pregnant a couple years down, I'm like, fuck no, no,
No, no, no. It don't work like that, husband. Like no.
no. But as I was saying, like when you come across those men who will tell you things like, if a man ain't paying for your sitter, then he's not that interested in you, and blah blah
Mm,
blah. And it becomes a lot different in the dating scene. So now that I've gotten that, like pretty much every time I've been dating now, I'm like, fuck no, I'm not going back to a man who don't want to offer to pay for my child's babysitting, because all these men who got more money, you know what I'm saying? They pay for, and they give it tips and shit. So if it's $100, he giving her 150. If she only want 80 for the night, he giving her 100. So it's
right.
like, offer, you get more time with me. So you know what I'm saying? You gonna
No,
get treated
feel
right.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that. And plus I feel like, I'm not saying it has to be obligated, but I just feel like that if they're going to pay for your babysitter, then they're really invested in trying to get to know you. I mean, of course, you have your scammers and your people who's just trying to get over you that will just pay their way in. Yes, yes, yes. But eventually, those masks fall off. You know what I mean? So I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like somebody who's willing to do that after off of the time that y'all did spend before he's decided to do that, I feel like that he's making an investment in y'all at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he knows, like, hey, you know what? I want to see you more than twice a week. So let me start helping you pay. Or even with one guy, we went half and half. So, like, I would pay for 2 days and he would pay for 2 days. So it's like, I was still contributing to the babysitter. So, I mean,
It's collaboration. Okay, so and speaking on collaboration,
uh,
what do you think about once you're past the dating stage and they meet your son, how do you navigate intertwining that?
oh, so for me, well, to be honest, only 2 men have been around my child. Two.
Mhm.
And the second one,
Same with
he
me.
met him and then we stopped talking a week later. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
but give me one second. Oh, you said how would I intertwine it? So
Yes.
what I do is, like, so once we start approaching that monthly mark, I slowly would have him have conversations with my child, like over the phone or through FaceTime or something like that, so that my son's like, okay, I see him, we talking on phone, whatever, whatever. And then, when it's time to meet, they so because I'm not about to just date you and in all these months and then randomly introduce you to my child. He gonna be confused, like who the fuck are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like slowly you're gonna start talking to him. Every time we talk, you talking to my child. So that when you do meet him, then he's not like, who's this stranger? I don't know this man. He's not uncomfortable. And so, and I also talk to him. I'll speak to my child about it, like, hey, this is, you're gonna meet him, but don't be mean. I'll tell him too, because Zaire's
You
loving,
ain't lying.
but
Yeah.
he's
So what's
loving,
the
but if he ain't messing with you, he'll be doing the side look and he'll be like, he
That's
won't talk to you.
boys.
So,
That's boys.
but that's also a sign spiritually. We could talk about that next podcast. But
Okay.
that's a sign spiritually that that man ain't for you, because your children will pick up energy that you ain't picked up. So
That's
I
true.
be listening. If my
That's
son
true.
don't like you,
I don't like you. No, you gotta be trying to make my son like you, boy.
no, for real. Like,
Okay. So like for me, I'll do something more of the lines like we can go to the park. So like I'm pretty really closed when it comes to, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
uh-huh.
Oh, okay, okay. I
Oh
was just
shit, you
making,
froze. Oh, I
yeah,
see.
because
Okay, you're unfrozen now.
okay, yeah,
Uh-huh.
because you have froze too, so I was checking.
Oh.
So like for me, what I do is I'm pretty closed off when it comes to meeting my when I just have my son, so when my daughter, when it comes to meeting my daughter, I was really closed off. I used to wait like a year. I waited a whole year, and then for like me, it was more like so for me, only two guys have ever been around my daughter too, and they both had to wait. One had to wait a year, the other one waited almost a year. So
Mhm.
for me, I would do things like, oh, they would go to the park as a first introduction, or like you said, I would talk to her and then they would come over. But like for the most part, for them to even meet her, they were kind of the ones that were like, oh, you should let me meet your daughter because I don't really like, I feel like I don't really like to mix that too much because the way the world is nowadays, I don't be trusting no nigga. I don't be trusting no nigga. So I'm kind of picky on that. So I'm kind of a little harder on that, you know?
I mean, but we have to be. We have to our child's safety, and I think men should do the same when it comes to them dating a woman with
I
kids.
agree too.
Or if he got kids, if you introducing a woman who don't got kids to your children, that would, like, my case, she was trying to kill my child. And it's like, you got to be careful with who you date as a man too, because that
Because they'll
woman
just say
could not like
anything.
your child for no reason at all. Right. But yeah, so I mean, but we have to be, hard on these. We got to be hard on these men, and it's nothing. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of single mamas out there who let these niggas meet their child the first day they meet them, or the first 2 days they meet this man, and these men is in their house every day. I don't do that shit, but I just feel like if we can come to a common ground where it's tough in the beginning, it's gonna be tough, not like by arguing nothing, but it's gonna be tough as in the time and investing because the sitting situation, or you want to see anymore. I don't want you to meet my child right now. So if we just get through that stage, we in
I
there and
agree
we,
with
we
that.
locked in.
And
Yeah, and we good.
I think
So
that's a good time limit to be honest, because if you can't get to know somebody in 6 months, then you wasn't trying to get to know them really at all.
yeah. And I have another thing too. So for me, I feel like you got to think about it. We are already consumed with our children all the time, right?
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like, if
true.
I'm gonna date, I want our one-on-one time. I need us to have a
Yeah.
couple months, just me and you, without no kids involved, so that we can get to know each other first, and then we involve the kids. So now that we've spent our couple months together, just me and you, now we can do things with the kids.
I agree
But
with that. I agree with that.
yeah, I'm not doing that from the beginning.
No, me
No.
neither. We on the same
Hmm.
we on the same accord. That sounds crazy. But okay. I just want to
Yep.
so I want to end this because we've been talking for a good 20 minutes. So that's usually my podcasts are usually for about
Mm-hmm.
15, 20, 30 max. But I wanted to thank you for coming on, discussing our experiences and our thoughts, right? Okay, yes, about being the single moms and
Mm-hmm.
dating. So thanks for joining. You have anything to
Yeah,
say?
no problem. I'll be back again, y'all.